Jacksnax. Welcome back to another episode of Office Hours. Today, kind of doing a quickie here before I get on with my teaching. Dealing with my 335 over the years has been a pleasure and a joy and rarely a challenge, but I do sense many of my students wondering how in the hell to make something work with this setup. So I figured I would take some time to talk about it. We've got dedicated volume and tone controls. Hey, how's it going, dude, Alex? Dedicated volume and tone controls with the pickup selector. So neck, bridge, both. And then we have an infinite number of possibilities because any one of these numbers can, you know, it's like it's a system of, it's very reactive. So by changing one element, the whole system changes. It's not like they're not interconnected. They really do affect one another quite a bit. So right now I'm dealing with, if I was to go full 10 on 10 on the bridge, you're going to hear a big bright, very bright sound, you know, super like. Hey, you're very welcome, Alex. And for me, over time, unless I'm playing like, you know, peak like cock rock, AC/DC sound, right there, I might want to see a lot less treble. So if my typical starting point on my guitar is usually around 3. Kind of in that area. And the reason why I do this over the years is, you know, I set this up so that it matches the treble content of the neck pickup on full. So I want a nice clean. Man, that sound. That's what really drew me into the 335, is that thick, smoky neck pickup sound. Okay, but even cooler was us taking the time to figure out what happens with these tone controls. Alright, by bringing up the treble or the bass components between the blend, we can get a lot of great stuff. So let's take a little look at, like, if I was to take the neck pickup and turn it into kind of like a rhythm guitar sound. I haven't changed any of the gain staging other than how much of the guitar is going out to my rig. And that's a very pleasing amount of strum. Now, if I want to bring that's a 2.5, a 10. If I lower the treble, I can strum more. I don't do this often, but if I'm doing like a more basic rock gig, this is the best type of sound because it sounds much better than using like pedals rig, which sounds a little too much presets. I like the gradation, okay? And so if we dial this up now, let's go to like 5. Get a little bit more smear on the low end. And that's about where I would keep it for like a traditional, you know, rock or blues. Maybe even a little bit more. That kind of sound. Now watch what happens. If I take my standard 10 bridge, 3 bridge tone control and have that, right? That commingled with, man, and then in the middle, time on in practice, which is what, Spooky Rufus? I can't see the rest of your message. I'll try to answer all that stuff in a second here. I'm just trying to make my point about this. By doing this, we can now get to, from this position, okay, we've got one sound, kind of a clean, right? Very nice sound, right? And then if we've got, boom, here, right? And then we come here, even more edge, okay? Now, roll this bad boy all the way to 0, put it in the middle. Instant woman tone. Smear to the low end. Don't overestimate treble. Sometimes the mushy, smeary clarity tones devoid of clarity are really nice too. I know on the channel we talk a lot about Grateful Dead music, which relies on a lot of clarity. But man, there's nothing wrong with the little smeary low end there. Okay, so by mixing, let's go with a brighter sound out of the neck with a little clarity, and the bridge with that kind of woman tone. Now watch what happens. It has this throaty, notched, kind of cocked wah sound for playing stuff, and you get that. Context relative to like a pretty good, it just isn't quite as grating as when we hear like a full spectrum sound, when we would hear like that's nice, but it can get a little shrill after a while, especially if you're loud and proud. There's something kind of nice about cutting down on those high end. All right, so right from here, we've got clarity, even a little bit more. By lowering the tone control, you'd think it would mellow it out and make it duller, but it kind of actually just kind of changes the EQ curve on the neck pickup. It's not, there's a lot of gain that seems to be caught up in this knob actually, and by lowering it, much like on a good, in particular, this happens on P90s, I find. The mids scoop out and you're left with a little bit more highs than lows. So I could see using this as, you know. Starting point, and then using the treble to mitigate the bridge pickup, and then being able to get at both of them. All right, so that's really all I wanted to talk about with respect to the guitar, and I know that this is something that a lot of people probably don't have access to, but if you do, a good double PA, like PAF style pickups. These are from, this guitar is straight from 1966, refretted, but and stop-tailed, so it's kind of like a poor man's Clapton era, you know, 335. Really nice setup to have all those sounds at your disposal. I mean, don't forget, at its you know, full on, it's brutally rocking. You know that. Snarky for my taste, though. I like it. And then a little bit more of that Clapton. And mix it in. And notch it out. Cooking. Now, last thing I wanted to talk about is vibrato. Man, over and over and over again, students they're playing the right notes, they're playing in time, but there's just this intensity that isn't there. And one of my former students who's chiming in here asking about Mixolydian and melodic minor and harmonic minor, which are all fantastically deep and nerdy topics. I love all that shit, Tamir, and we'll try to get to that if we can on another broadcast. I have a 3 o'clock lesson I'm going to have to jump for in about 10 minutes. So I wanted to get at the essence of this vibrato thing, because I've just noticed student after student after student is missing it. So there's a couple of different things we got to talk about. Let's just look at, we'll use the same little standard B blues thing I have here, this little, you know, thing happening, all right? So we're going to come up and we're going to hit this note. Now watch the differences between just going here or coming here going or right. That's all hitting that same note on the B string. Now when you start to factor in the reality of being able to hit that same note here in the same way, right? Right? Or here. Right? Hear the timbre of this. Took off and I had to surf it. Anyway, that note there has so much more upper harmonic sting to it, and I'm still playing with that kind of muted coronet, you know, sound less treble than normal, right? If I do that here versus here versus here, I would never really opt for that note. I find it to be counterintuitive in terms of my pursuit of tone. I like a lot. That's good for that, especially with the, you know, and that's probably the best for being able to get both vibratos, both the hummingbird and the Clapton. All right, so this, man, there's a certain intensity that you just can't get any other way than that. And then there's, last but not least, doing the same thing here, which is going to have more sting, but a little, you have to be a little more careful because you can fling off the board very easily. But you can hear that extra little bit of chirp on the pick versus. So getting that vibrato on the high E, that way, or whoa, that, right? That's a key move. This up only vibrato. All right, or you can use your thumb and kind of do half of the hump, like you're kind of inverting the fulcrum from your index finger to now to your thumb. You can't really get the speed though of this, like this. Very hard to do that versus this for speed, but accuracy, I'm better off like that. So I developed this skill over the years of being frustrated with my inability to do the Clapton thing, okay? But work on that, man. Just sitting down like this, very worthwhile. Whoa. Working on that vibrato on the high E. Man, so many students of mine, and I only say this, I'm only sensitive to it because I sucked at it for so long. I was sitting there going, doing that, and it just doesn't cut it, okay? You can't, there's nothing to it, you know? I ended up going, instead of going, switching from 10s to 9s will definitely do it. Although, Alex, it's my recollection that your vibrato was pretty fucking killer. Good time and good vibrato, but absolutely, Alex, no problem at all. So just spending a little time with the simple B loop and figuring out how to play something like against that solid B in the background, really, really great for your pitch. Dedicate to this little episode of Office Hours, and I'm sorry I wasn't able to be as interactive as I wanted to be, but I've got quite an afternoon for me set up here. So anyway, buds and brothers, I will catch you on the flip side, and if anybody's got any questions, obviously, feel free to drop a line. Oh, absolutely, Alex. Anybody who's got a question, feel free to drop me a line at jack_divine@hotmail.com. And we can definitely talk about whatever you want to talk about and figure out whether or not, you can find what you're looking for through the stuff already on my site, or if you're interested in taking a couple of lessons or setting up a full steady weekly thing. I don't know. I mean, it's not that I don't care. I just, everything over here, very good, very complete. So happy to talk to anybody about their progress. I'm really happy with the way the channel has got this nice little community of folks that I know and have been getting to be friends with, as well as kind of a mentor to. So I really do appreciate everybody chiming in from time to time and emailing me or texting or whatever the situation is. It's been a tremendous opportunity for me to learn how to be a better teacher and a better player as well, because you guys push me in different ways and make me kind of question my own reality and my own thoughts on this instrument, which, you know, I thought I had it all figured out, and the truth is it just keeps getting deeper and better and more fun. So I guess that's about it. I better jet. One quickie, we should definitely make sure that everybody's got their flat fives together in the key of B. So over B, we want to make sure we see this here, and also, and then again here. Now, why does that awful sounding note, you know, make my big toe shoot up in my boot? Well, it's for adding tension. We can really get some nice effects, right? You'll see that F right there. Flat five. All right, there. That's kind of the back door to our. Okay, then we've got the main one. This one here from the main position of 1. We want to try to get to that. Okay? Okay, and last but not least, we want to see this. Okay, so you've got it there. And last but not least. That ninth was not intentional. Flat 5 again here. Anyway, I'm going to duck out of here, my friends, but thank you very much for tuning in. And hey, if you like what you see, hit subscribe if you're not a subscriber. And if you are a subscriber, you know, say hi. And if you want lessons, jack_divine@hotmail.com. And if you don't want lessons, that's cool too. I hope to see you around on YouTube and whatnot. All right, so signing off from Brooklyn. Adios and peace, amigos. Cheers. That's funny. Thanks a lot. I appreciate that. I really do. Cheers.